Hello and welcome to this new step-by-step Blender tutorial to make a tongue in two parts. In the second part, we will learn how to add hair particles with different colors and look to the same mesh. And doing so, we will discover various difficulties you may encounter here or on another project and how to overcome them. You can buy the final project for $3 as a way to support the channel, link in the description.
Okay guys, so now let's create the hair. Just hit H on the keyboard. We don't want hair inside this guy, but only on the top. Let's go to edit mode. Here we are, and we want hair on all this part except maybe the edge. Let's do face select with 3 on the keyboard. And now there's a weird tool in Blender that you can access but by using C. So when you hit C, you will have this circle here. If you hit F, you can't make it bigger. If you hit the middle mouse of the button, nothing happens. I don't know why this tool behaves like this, or where we can find it here on the... Let's use the mouse to select these faces. So now if I want to change the view on the viewport, I need to hit escape first and then use the mouse wheel to move my view like this, and then again hit C. So I don't know why this tool behaves like this, and it's very annoying. Sometimes I forget to hit escape and I select things I don't want to select, or deselect things I don't want to deselect. Escape again. Now we do shifts and drag with the left mouse button to select these guys. You see these guys weren't selected. Let's use X-ray mode for now. Don't use X-ray mode when selecting these guys here, because you will select also the guys on the bottom. But here on the ears we want to select both sides. Shift, left click, drag and select all these faces. I think I did it. There's one more trick. These faces are almost invisible, so we don't know if we selected these guys or not. So there's a little trick to be able to see all the faces, and that's in the modifiers panel here. You just go to edit mode here, this icon here, and disable subdivision in edit mode, and here you can see the original shape and you can see all the faces. So like as you can see, these two faces weren't selected. So shift, left mouse, drag, and now we should have selected all our faces. Let's check the edge here. If we selected one face or two faces or some faces accidentally, this face is not selected. And let's do just shift and click. But maybe deselect these guys, because we want these inside of the ears. We wanted to have different hair size and different colors. Okay. So now we go to a new panel, and that's the object data properties, and we will add a new vertex group. And that vertex group will include all the faces we selected here. So assign, let's deselect and hit here select, and you see that our faces were selected. With them, these two faces that we deselected before, I don't know why that happened. Let's try to add a new vertex group. Let's rename this first. Let's name it hair, and add a new vertex group, call it ear hair. Okay, let's select these two guys, only these two guys, and do assign. Select. Nice, it works. How about here select? How about you select these two while we are selecting our hair group here, and do remove to remove these two faces, and deselect everything, and then do select. Oh, I don't know why these faces were deselected along with our... Okay, let's keep it like this for now. We will go to the particle properties panel here. Let's go to object mode, and let's add a new particle system. You see this weird thing happen, these weird balls. These are particles, giant particles. But we want to use emitter, but hair. Here's our hair. We have 1000 hairs. We can make them more. Let's keep it at 1000 for now. The hair length is 4 meters. Wow. Why would anyone make hair by default hair length 4 meters. That's very weird. Okay, let's make it like 0.2. No. 0.002. No, that's still too much. Okay, I think this is a good length. But you see, we still have this hair pointing in some weird directions. It should be pointing like you see, a little bit like this, not horizontally like this. I found that this problem is caused because we haven't applied our size. So if we go to item here and check the scale, you see that it's 0.079. Like Blender is assuming that this shape is resized from a bigger shape. So 1 is the original size and this is the size we resized this guy to. But we want this size to be the original size. So to do that, we do Ctrl A on the keyboard and apply scale. We apply scale and now our hair is fixed. And here you can see 111 on the scale. So this became our original scale. You can also apply a lot of things here, but the most important one is this one, apply scale. If you don't apply scales, a lot of problems can happen. A lot of what seem like glitches just because of that. So make sure you apply your scales as soon as you get to the size you want of any shape or on any mesh you made. So now what to do? As you can see, we created our vertex groups just so that we don't have hair inside, but you see we still have hair here, and that's because we haven't chosen our vertex group. So we go here to vertex groups and choose density here and click on it and choose hair, and also on the length hair, so that the hair is dense on those vertices or those faces, and also it that applies to length. So on the edges you will have some hair that is shorter, you see, on the edges. Now we can mess with the settings of our hair. Source we keep emit from faces. Distribution I like to put it to make it random and not jittered. This looks better to me. And we have this children thingy, known, simple or interpolated. So if you use simple, we have this it looks like noise. This is not hair, this is like when you cut your hair or when you shave your face and the hair is all over the place. Interpolated, here we have a better look of our tongue, as you can see. How about giving our tongue a new material? I want to give it a base color of, are we selecting? Yeah, of like this kind of blue. So let's try to play more with our hair. So we have our interpolated, display amount 10 and render amount 100. Let's make it 100 here too. I don't know of your PC, so if you have a slow PC you can lower this value, and in the render you will have a higher value and better looking hair. I think this is good and maybe too much. Let's make it 80, and here too let's make it 80. Clumping, yeah, you see you can have this kind of look. I think this looks good. So you can play with the clumping too, kink type and hair shape. You see here we have diameter roots at 1 meter. That's a little bit weird, but we'll keep it this way for the moment. By playing with these things you can learn a lot of things on how hair works. Okay, let's go now. There are more settings of hair in the render engine properties. That can be confusing. Sometimes I look for some settings, I can't find them, but they are there. So just keep in mind that some settings are in the render engine settings and the others are in the particle settings. So here we have some more settings for hair. On Eevee, we are on Eevee. So we click hair and we have two options, strand or strip. If we hit strip, we have this weird looking shape. So let's go back to strand. Let's switch to cycles. Okay. And go to the viewport shading mode. Now we wait for the render. So the tracing takes a lot of time, as you can see, and the hair looks a little bit weird. The PC is getting very slow because of this. We may crash. It's okay. Okay, we are back here. Let's select Eevee again. So that problem, you see, that could crash your blender. Let's do like Control P, select this part here, and switch to cycles. So it starts to render this small part. Now the PC works better, but you see that we have some, it looks like snow or something, I don't know. We have some weird hair here. Let's pause the rendering here. Okay, let's switch to Eevee. And let's hit, I think, Control Alt B to remove that little square, little rendering square. So why is that happening? So if we are in Eevee and we choose strip, as I said, we see this weird looking hair. Now we need to go back to the particle settings, and we go down here to hair shape. You see we have a diameter root of 1 meters. So that's why we have this type of hair. Let's lower the particles to like 20. 1. You see? This is the kind of hair we have. Let's lower this to like 200. And you see this is the type of hair we have. It's like big triangles. And that's why they look so weird. And that's why they crash Blender. So we go here and change this to like 0, 1. Already better. 0, 0, 1. No, that's too much. 0, 0, 5. Yeah, this looks better, I think. 0, 0, 0, 8. Maybe this is good. Diameter roots and diameter skin, I don't know. Let's make this 0.1. No, just keep it as it was, 0, 0, 1, like this. And now we can change back to 80 here and change back to 1000 here, or maybe 500 only. Is 500 good? Try to make the lower possible value so that you have faster renders. So now we have two options in Eevee. You can choose strand like this, or you can choose strip like this, and they both look good. And if you go to cycles, oh, the rendering is paused. I thought it froze. Okay, play. Now the rendering works just fine because we have fine hair and not that weird stuff. Okay guys, so now we will add hair to the inside of the ear. Let's go to edit mode, check our vertex groups. So if we hit this guy, hit select, you see that we select the outer space here. Let's deselect and then hit ear, hair, and hit select, and you see that only these two faces are selected and not the surrounding faces. I don't know why that happened, but we will try to fix it. So we will hit shift to select this face, and then shift again, and now we hit control click again, and control click again. Now we hit shift again, left click, and then control click. So now we have all these selected. We select ear hair and hit assign. Okay, so now if we select these, we have these, and if we select these, we have these. I think I'm gonna create a new material here. Let's call this blue tongue, and yeah, we will create a new material. We will assign the blue tongue material, and we will hit this number here too to make it unique, to have two instances of the same material. We can't do this here, so we should go to object mode, I think, hit 2. Okay, now we have two blue tongue tutorials materials. So why we do this? Because if we create a new material and we already messed with these settings here in our blue tongue material, so we will have to retype all those settings. But since we have the same material, all our settings are the same, so we just have to change the color. It's just to make our life easier, you know. So we choose this greenish yellowish color and call it yellow. tongue. Okay, let's go back to edit mode. Let's go to our vertex groups, to our ear hair, and hit select, and then back to material. We select our yellow material and click assign. Let's go to another view mode, and we can see that we have now two materials on top of our tongue. Let's go to object mode, and we have this. Now we need some hair inside the ear. Okay, so we go to the particle system and we do the same. We will hit this guy and hit duplicate particle system. Now we have two particle system. We can rename these guys too, but I'm too lazy to do it. Just be careful of one thing, because I filmed this tutorial several times because I didn't pay attention to this. So here, if you see here, we have particle settings, and here particle settings 1, and here particle settings 2. I don't know why it's not the same here and here, but even that we have two particle systems here, but they have the same settings, the exact same settings. As you see, number 2, it's assigned to both of them. That's why before you do anything, make sure to hit this number to make it unique. Now we have a new settings for our new particle system. So we go to the vertex groups and change it to ear hair. Now we have hair inside our ear, but we have blue hair. Okay, so how to make it yellow hair? We go up here to render and just change here the material from blue tongue to yellow tongue. So here's how we get yellow hair inside our ear. And now a few things to do. Since the area here is much smaller than the other area, we don't need all this sheer number of hairs, so let's make it like 500. No, I think like 300 would be good. And the length of the hair too, we don't want hair as long as the hair here, so let's make it 0.001, and this is almost it. Okay, one thing we could do now is to go to particle edit. Here we have some options to comb our hair and all. You can play with these settings. We can even cut our hair. You see, we have a multitude of tools here. There's a trick, I think, here to see the hair, because we see only these black sticks here to see the hair and be able to comb it properly. Yeah, you hit children here. So if you hit children, you can see your hair, and here you can change from yeah, you hit also children here. Yeah, nice. Okay, so you can comb your hair here if you wish. And also we can go to our weight paint part here, and here you can also mess with these settings and remove the hair from some areas if you want, or add hair to other areas. I think by selecting, yeah, either this. So you see, let's go to here to see better. So the red part is where the density of the hair is most, and the black part here, there's no hair in this part. But if you want this to work properly, you need more vertex groups. So now we go to object mode. You see, you can apply your subdivision here. You hit apply, and now we have more details to work with. Let's try to select our ear hair. Select. It shouldn't select all these vertices, but I think I'm not gonna mess with this anymore. Okay, so if we go again to weight paint, here you can select one of these brushes, the subtract brush, and you can remove hair from these parts like this. In your case, you may see some bluish color here and not this black. I think there's an option here. You need to yeah, instead of in here 0 weights, there's known and there's active. You should hit, I think, active here to be able to see the place where there is really 0 weight. And here you have no way to know where there is 0 weight and where there is some weight. So that's why this option should be enabled, so that you can see, you see all the blue hair, and you can remove it with this brush, the subtract brush, and remove. We are kinda restraining the area where the hair will grow, the yellow hair will grow. Let's go back to object mode. Let's give it the yellow material, yellow tongue, and here we go. Now let's add our eyes to the tongue. Okay, so Shift A, add a new UV sphere. Let's make it like 16 segments and like 8 rings, so half the value they gave us. And let's resize it to make it real small. Okay, let's give it a new material. This is the easiest part of our tutorial, so let's make it just black like this. Shade smooth, so right click and then shade smooth, and then let's give it a metallic. No metallic. So we're just gonna get the roughness to 0. Oh, this is beautiful, isn't it? Okay, and now we will duplicate our it looks like a hippopotamus. Just we try to. There's one thing you can do too, is to hit Ctrl A and apply your scales, and we do the same for our spheres, our eyes. So now let's do some parenting. Let's parent this guy to this guy, so that when we move this guy, we will move this one too. So we select first the one we want to parent, and we shift and select the one we want to be the parent, and then hit Ctrl P and here select object. So now if we try to move this guy with G, the other guy will move, but the eyes won't move. That's why we want to parent the eyes to the top of the tongue. So we select the one eye and then second eye and then our upper tongue. Ctrl P and objects. Now if we move this guy, the eyes will move too, and if we move this guy, everything will move. So what if we wanted to duplicate our tongue now? So select everything and we hit Shift D to duplicate this guy. Let's move it on the x-axis only, and we try to mirror this guy. Objects, mirror, X local. Yes, so this is it. We have our two tongues. So before you mirror your before you duplicate your tongue and before you mirror it, make sure that you parent it as we did, because when I didn't parent the tongue, the various elements, the mirroring didn't work properly. Okay, so this is it. This is our beautiful pair of tongues that looks like a hippopotamus. If you want to purchase this file for $3 to support the channel, you can find it in the description.
See you in another tutorial. Thank you for watching. Peace.